I'm Mikala Ritzau. I'm a facilitator and I wear that hat in different ways. So I facilitate for small and big companies. I also am a facilitator and a director for Having a Say in the NHS, which delivers service user involvement training and workshops for health professionals and service users. So it's all about patient and public involvement, which is very interesting. And then I've been a National Childbirth Trust teacher for the last 22 years, which is extraordinary, but I still love it. And then I'm an actress and improviser for playback theatre. So a few different hats to wear.
Well, today we're going to be talking about leadership, storytelling in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you've seen a lot of different leaders in action.
Yes.
What do you think makes a great leader?
I think that certainly when I think about leadership and leaders and the work that I've done, particularly within the NHS and certainly also facilitated for bigger organisations, I think there's something about authenticity. And I know it's a buzzword, but there's something about being able to connect to yourself and make that connection to other people, to actually to listen, to hear, to respond, and be very clear about that. Be authentic. Remember what's important for you, and what matters to you and your family also matters to the people that are around you. Listen and see the bigger picture, and maybe that's where it's helpful to have something that helps you, if you can be innovative, creative, think out of the box, help you and other people to see what the stories are in the organisation. Because sometimes we end up so much in our heads that we need some way of accessing the real essence of what the story is about, that really blocks, that helps, that enables, that gets things going. We all have profound stories in terms of the way that we have been brought up, and how we become parents ourselves, and how we might hear ourselves become our mum or dad and either react to that or feel very connected to that. And I think certainly in terms of the work that I've done with the National Childbirth Trust, there's a tremendously important job to be done there in terms of thinking of parenting, because in essence we are leaders for our children, and that leadership needs that kind of space to listen and respond and respect and lead as well, and that's a fine balance. But somehow what springs to mind for me is that it's like a map. The leader has a very clear sense of where we as a team need to travel from A to Z. And so they've got the overall view, but are able and absolutely willing to engage all their team to maybe not go the straight route, but go different routes and be able to gather people together on that journey from A to Z. I think a manager gets more concerned about the sort of picture on the ground. We've got to D now, and might possibly find it slightly harder to kind of get the bigger picture. For the leader, I think it's more about the focus, thinking about the people, being able to kind of motivate, engage, enthuse, inspire, and obviously lead, whereas I think with the manager, possibly it's more about the task. We need to get A, B, C, D, E, F. We need to get all of that done. Both completely essential for the whole thing to happen. None is kind of more important. We need totally both. But I think that's how I see it anyway, in terms of a map. It's a really good question. I'm not sure that I have the answer for that. I think I've certainly worked with some fabulous, fantastic leaders and some that are not so good. And I think I think, and I would need to sort of reflect on this, but I think that some leaders have that potential of leadership in them, and others just don't. And however, I think there is some way in between, that some people have got it, but it's like a little seed that definitely needs to be helped, to be developed, to be nurtured. That potential is there, let's put it that way. But there is something about the authenticity. There is something about someone who very clearly have got it, and you can tell. And what is it? I'm really not quite sure. I'm really not quite sure, but I think definitely there's some people that needs the right support, the right environment for that to really blossom and absolutely flourish. So there may be a sort of slight in-between place there as well.
Some of the clients I work with often say, it's a lonely old job, it can be lonely at the top. What advice would you give to leaders who are experiencing that?
I think it is lonely at the top. I think it can sometimes be really lonely, and I think leaders need support, coaching, somebody who can kind of listen to them, reflect back. I think need peer support. I think we need to also hear our own stories, as well as a team, the organisation, what's really the story that's going on at the moment. We need to actually also have a sense of what is the story out there more globally? How do we connect to that? So I think it's essential as a leader to have the opportunity to hear our own story and the other people's story, so that we can be inspirational. We're connected to our own selves and to other people. I think that's a true leader.
Mikala, thank you very much for coming in this afternoon and sharing some of your insights into leadership and storytelling. It's been absolutely fascinating. Thank you very much.
Real pleasure.